Good morning. This is Dr. Hansa Das, Department of History, Assistant Professor, Nirmala College, Ranchi. Today's topic for discussion is folk art. I've already given a PowerPoint presentation in Hindi on popular culture, in which we have understood the various nuances and themes associated with it. As part of a continuation of the popular culture series, today's presentation will be on folk art. For the benefit of English medium students, this PowerPoint presentation will be in English. Uh, now, I have tried to incorporate as much as possible folk art forms from different parts of the country, but in my presentation, the focus today will be on folk art forms in Jharkhand. So let us see what folk art is and how differently folk art is presented in different parts of the country. Folk art is produced from an indigenous culture. It expresses cultural identity by conveying shared community values and aesthetics. It is primarily utilitarian and decorative rather than purely aesthetic. It is characterized by naive style in which traditional rules of proportion and perspective are not employed. The nature of folk art is specific to its particular culture. It is not influenced by movements in academic or fine art circles, and it excludes works executed by professional artists and sold as high art or fine art. Now, it is folk art is simple, direct, and mostly always colorful. As we move on through the presentation, you will notice how colorful and lively these folk art forms are. The content of folk art is closely related to immediate human concerns. Folk artists traditionally learn skills and techniques through apprenticeships in informal community settings. Materials used are cloth, paper, wood, clay, and metal. Folk artworks, styles, and motifs have inspired various artists, and there are a number of terms which are used interchangeably with the term folk art. For example, popular art, primitive art, tribal art, for that matter, even working class art and blue collar art. Now, there are many categories or there are many themes on which folk art forms have been built throughout the country. But for the purpose of this presentation, I have chosen three categories: religious art, festival art, and decorative art. Religious art incorporates objects, deities, decorative objects for use in religious spaces and magic, etc. Festival art is about harvest and change of seasons, and decorative art is about repetitive geometric patterns or plant and animal motifs. And now, whatever art forms I am going to show you in this presentation, they are based on either of the three themes. Let's begin with some Indian art forms. The first one is Madhubani painting, which you must be well acquainted with. It is done in Bihar, and it is also called Mithila art, and it originated in the kingdom of Janak, Sita's father in the Ramayana, you must be knowing, in Nepal and in present day Bihar. It is one of the most popular Indian folk arts practiced mostly by women. Again, practiced mostly by women, please remember. And usually the paintings do not leave any empty space, and the gaps are filled by paintings of flowers, animals, birds, and even geometric patterns. Characterized by the use of bright colors, Madhubani paintings make use of natural sources like plants and charcoal soot for their color. Next, we have Pattachitra. Have a look at it for 2 seconds. Pattachitra, which is very common in Orissa. It is one of the oldest and most popular art forms of Orissa. The name comes from the Sanskrit words patta meaning canvas and chitra meaning picture. So it is picture made on canvas. Known for its rich colors, attractive motifs, designs, and depiction of mythological figures or episodes, Pattachitra is characterized by the following themes. There are a number of themes on which Pattachitra is made. For example, Thiya Badhya, which is a depiction of the Jagannath temple. Then we have another theme, Krishna Leela, enactment of Jagannath as Lord Krishna, who displayed his powers as a child. Another theme of Pattachitra is Dasabatar Patti, the 10 incarnations of Lord Vishnu. And finally, one more scheme is Panchamukhi, that is depiction of Lord Ganesh as a five-headed deity. Okay, then we move on to Varli painting, which seems to be done in black and white. Let us see what Varli painting is about. It is practiced by Varli tribes from the mountains and coastal regions in and around the borders of Maharashtra and Gujarat, characterized by intricate geometric patterns of flowers, wedding rituals, hunting scenes, and other everyday activities. Then you have Gond painting. The very word Gond would suggest that this is a kind of tribal painting. It is practiced by the Gonds, one of the largest tribes centered in Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, and Orissa. The word Gond comes from the Dravidian expression Gond, which means uh, the green mountain. Made with natural colors derived from charcoal, colored soil, plant sap, leaves, and cow dung, the simple art form is created with dots and lines. The Gonds make these paintings as an offering to Mother Nature and also to ward off evil. So this is one important point, that the Gond folk art has a religious connotation also, and whatever they paint or whatever they portray is to offer to Mother Nature and also to ward off evil. So this was Gond painting. Then let us come to folk art in Jharkhand. As I told you before, that there are a number of themes, a number of categories included in folk art in Jharkhand. But for the purpose of the presentation, I have chosen three categories or three themes of folk art in Jharkhand: Sohrai and Khovar paintings, Petkar painting, and Oraon comb cut painting. So let us begin with Sohrai and Khovar paintings. Please have a look at it for a few seconds, and then I'll explain what Sohrai and Khovar paintings are all about. Indeed, it is a very beautiful picture, and it is popular in Hazaribagh region of Jharkhand, and this folk art draws heavily from the forest life. During the winter harvest, the tribal communities of Jharkhand and Orissa hold a harvest festival called Sohrai. During this time, the women of the household paint the walls using mineral and clay based colors in the form of flowers, animals, birds, fruits, and other nature inspired objects. This is done uh, after the rainy season is over, because the paint is not waterproof and needs repairs after the rain is over. These paintings are made by the Santhal tribe. And Khovar paintings are made during weddings. Much in common with the Madhubani paintings, they are also made during weddings. And these paintings are made to decorate the bridal chamber. Both Sohrai and Khovar art styles are practiced primarily by women. Again, a similarity with Madhubani painting. One similarity is that they are made mostly at the time of weddings, and another similarity is that they are practiced mostly by women. Now have a look at Petkar painting. This is also one kind of folk art of Jharkhand, and you can probably see some kind of instruments in their hands. Anyway, let's see Petkar painting. It is a folk painting found in East India in the form of scrolls. The Petkar painting occurs in the bordering areas of Jharkhand, West Bengal, and Orissa, and is considered as the age-old tribal painting of India. And the painting is prepared by the painters known as Chitrakar. That is, the painters who make this Petkar painting, they are known as Chitrakar. Now the third one is called Oraon comb cut painting. Naturally, it's a very weird kind of a name, Oraon comb cut painting. But when I describe it, you will come to know why this particular name. Okay, now in Oraon comb cut painting, they first paint the wall with black clay and allow it to dry. After the layer is dry, they paint over it using white clay, that is kaolin. While the upper is still relatively wet, they use a broken comb or some other sharp implement to cut away the white clay, revealing the black clay underneath. This creates a pattern when viewed from afar, reveals a black and white painting. So, this is how it got its name around comb cut painting. This is all for today's presentation, and for your information, my next PowerPoint presentation in the popular culture lecture series will be on calendar art and how calendar art emerged and became an important aspect of Indian folk or Indian traditional art system. So that is for all. That is for all for today. Thank you so much.